What's up, guys? Subzeric here, back for another Avad review on the new patch. And today we got something really nice. This is actually an in-house on the North American server. We're watching YBY1 POV, but we got Ripple in here, Asta. A lot of these players actually, Lechuyan. I don't actually know players like Clemo. I feel like I've heard this name Clemo before. I have no clue who Emma Beast is, but it is a normal game with a lot of really good players in it. So I believe this is an in-house on the North American server, which, you know, if nobody streamed these, this is an exclusive VOD. Thank you again. Shout out to the viewer who put together this program where I can basically just yum, just steal all these VODs for people. But yeah, this is a game from YBY1 where he played a comp that I want to yap about because it might be the strongest comp actually on this patch. We talked yesterday about just kind of like, you know, Dominators and how they're a lot stronger these days. And this is, well, I mean, yeah, it's certainly a variation of that. All right, first Augment here. We don't actually have the strongest of openers, so yeah, I think the Augments they care about win streak we're not very interested in. 1, 2, 3, bulky buddies. I mean, the like econ type Augments in Scuttle Puddle, not the most excited for. You could run up, and I actually am pretty excited for an over encumbered here, but we'll see what YBY wants to end up taking here. Yeah, I like over encumbered a lot here in this spot. We're not playing the world's strongest opener, though we are actually going to level up here, which surprised me a bit. But I mean, I guess the upside of just getting another unit in is too good. I was fully expecting us to play for like a full loss streak in this spot, but no, we're going to take the over encumbered, level up here. We're going to have to sell off a Kali pair here, yeah, to hold on to. I just think Aurelia pair is so much more relevant here, even potentially over the Rel pair, just because the, you know, if you look at our odds down here, 55% odds of picking up another, you know, one cost, which could be an Aurelia versus 30% for Rel. It's too hard to actually pick up the Rel. But yeah, we're not actually playing like really hard for a loss streak here. We're just kind of playing oh, and let me remove, I was playing an Enforcer game earlier, so let me remove those guys from Planner. Man, it was a worth the wait step game, and I was almost on the way to getting to step 4. I'm pretty sure if I won, like, one of those games where I lost a fight and went 6th, but I'm pretty sure if I won that fight, I was, like, top 3. But look, I mean, it's life. That's life. In any case, we're going to make the Adaptive Helm Slam here as well. Yeah, YBY, I really like the idea from YBY to just say, you know what, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how close this fight looks, and if it looks like a really close fight, I'm going to make the Adaptive. And, I mean, look at that. That is a giga adaptive helm diff, so beautiful slam there from YBY1 actually to make sure that he ends up winning that fight. And look at this, the second that we see these Dominators in shot, boom, get out of those Rebels, even though it fits so much more nice on the board with stuff like Visionary and everything. No, we are immediately getting out of those Rebels, and we're going to play Dominator here and move the items over to Cassiopeia. So Cassiopeia, I mean, she got a really big buff to her. Let me actually pull up the patch notes so I can give you guys the exact number. Because it was pretty huge here. So Cassiopeia, yeah, it's an extra 40 like base, you know, like AP damage at 1 star, an extra 60 at 2 star, an extra 100 at 3 star. This unit got a pretty big buff here. I was thinking Giant's Belt here, but maybe it's gonna go for, yeah, just the rod for the JG here. We have like an adaptive helm already, so we can just, you know, be adaptive helm plus JG and be pretty happy with it. I mean, we're on a 3-win streak here, so we do certainly want to pick up this win, and we do get to level and still make 30 gold because of the extra gold from Scuttle Puddle. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge buff. Even if you're just playing like Cassiopeia 2, an extra, you know, 270 to 330 is the difference there. I mean, 60 over 270, it's almost a 25% buff. I mean, that is, wait, it's more than a, no, yeah, it's almost a 20, it's like a 20% buff or something like that. Like, that is huge on just Cassio 2-star, and then obviously Cassio 3-star from 430 to, you know, 500. I mean, that's another, like, you know, 20% buff as well. It's pretty good, I will say. It is a pretty good buff to this unit who, honestly, like, this entire set, no one's been excited about Cassiopeia, right? You're never like, oh my god, it's a Cassio reroll game, guys. We landed the perfect spot for it. But now, I mean, maybe we'll see that. We do lose that last fight, so it's not gonna be a full 5-win streak here. I mean, it would be, YBY1 is too much of a beast. If he just 5 streaks here with over encumbered, isn't he just guaranteed to win the game? So, like, at least the game's a little bit interesting here. Also, peeking out on the lobby here, 2 people 100 streaking in the spot. This guy, whoa, Garen, he's got this Conqueror setup here, and this guy, actually a Rebel setup similar to what we were playing, but just with some notable upgrades here. I imagine YBY1 is not going to pick up these orbs from the Scuttle. Yep, and he's walking away there. He wants the gold. Actually, he's going to pick up the orbs. Wow. He picked up all of them. Usually you see people not pick up the orbs there because they don't want their units to explode onto the bench and just explode into gold. But he actually, he does go for it there. I do want to pause here and look at items here if we are thinking about playing some kind of Dominators type line. We obviously have Nashor's Tooth open here, and we have a lot of damage items. You're probably going to end up having to make an Ionic Spark here, and then I feel like Nashor's Tooth is also kind of necessary, though. I guess maybe you could go something like Spark and then Red Buff and then have like, Guard Breaker open or something like that. The sword's pretty awkward. It's great for Shojin though, so you could look at either reforging. I probably would reforge sword because we don't even have the bow at this point. So like Spark, reforge sword, go for a Nashor Slam, maybe even a double JG in this spot, just another one, but we'll see there. He does, okay, so yeah, he's gonna make the Red Buff here over the Nashors here, saying like, yeah, who really cares about it? And then that opens up, yeah, the Spark comes down, but that opens up more like Guard Breaker type stuff, because if we're not making Nashors, we want to get rid of the belts. We didn't actually reforge the sword, but we also didn't use it. So maybe his thought is like, Shojin's too good in this comp to even reforge. Even though we don't have the tier here, Shojin's just too good to pass up. So yeah, I mean, I think these slams make a lot of sense from the perspective of saying like, who really needs Nashors? Especially like, I'm actually down here. Let's do a quick stats dive here, just to look at Cassiopeia 3. If somebody were to want to play for something like that and just take a look at items here. So yeah, blue buff good. And yeah, I mean, Nashors is pretty solid. So if you go to builds, yeah, you're still going to see like blue buff Nashors type stuff. Okay, so yeah, Nashor's still quite good on her. Really, I mean, with most Dominators, you want double mana +1. And so some of the best builds are, I mean, the best build here stats-wise is triple mana, which is actually hilarious. So put some mana items on Cassio and don't worry about too much else. Blue buff, quite important. But Nashor's Tooth actually built more than blue buff. So yeah, still actually interested in, I mean, the stats say you should be really interested in Nashors here. Augment-wise, oh my god, I mean, we get Mana Flow here. It's an easy pickup. We also pick up the Ziggs 2 here, which is really, really nice. I wonder, actually, we could have burned a remover to move triple item over to the Ziggs. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised we don't do that, actually, and just move these 3 items over. I have to imagine that that's just a small mistake from YBY1, but yeah, I mean, I think Ziggs, let's check the damage charts here, but I think Ziggs 2 is going to be, comparable to this Cassio, even though he's only got 1 item, Cassio's got 3. I mean, okay, she did, yeah, I mean, is this difference the 3 item versus 2 item, or versus like basically 1 item diff? I would say so, yeah. So, I mean, it's not that dramatic. It's not as dramatic as I would think. Pick up the Garen here, so now we're just going to pivot into a Force Sentinel board, which looks really, really nice. Yeah, and we can just keep the Garen for later, if we end up hitting that. Garen fits nicely onto this board, obviously, with like the Vladimir connection and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see. This board here that we're fighting, Quick Striker reroll from nothing, really. It's just straight up Quick Striker reroll for the love of the game, it looks like. Or it could just be a Vi game as well. Doesn't have to be Quick Strikers, I guess. They already have an Invest. I mean, they have a lot of Quick Strikers. Well, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they could just play Emissary, certainly. All right, going into Carousel here, we have the tier open for a Shojin, and it's also on a Garen here if we want. We also have the Rod open, so this could just be, yeah, I think this is beautiful. We get to pick up a Cassiopeia here, and I'm thinking Crown Guard here, but we'll see what if YBY1 wants to make that slam, just because I would really like to get a frontline item down here. And yeah, he is actually going to make the Crown Guard, throw the sword onto the Ziggs, and he's just going to leave the Crown Guard on the Ziggs for now. Actually, I mean, I think this makes a lot of sense. Makes a frontline item, but we aren't forced to like burn a remover here. Oh, that's actually like a really, really smart little optimization here. Just leave the Crown Guard on the Ziggs. The AP on him is going to be, perfectly fine. We level up and get scrap in here, so then we can scrap the sword. Yeah, I mean, this is beautiful here. And, a little bit of shield on the Ziggs. I mean, we're probably not going to like frontline him or anything like that. Oh, it's actually so tragic that we lose that. I mean, not the end of the world. It's not like we have a big streak or anything like that, but it feels bad. It certainly feels bad. But hey, level 7, 40 gold here, feeling pretty good for YBY1. Not turbo rich, but, not super poor. And here is where you kind of have to obviously make the call. If you think about, similar to like Sorcerer's last patch, this comp has 2 variations. You have the Cassiopeia reroll, like the Cassiopeia Blitzcrank reroll version where you're playing for 3 stars. And then you have the, just like the fast 8, fast 9 Dominators, like vertical Dominators, and then play it for stuff like Mordekaiser and stuff like Silco too. This is where you have to make that call, obviously. If you decide to start pushing 8, it's going to be a little bit harder to find these 3 stars. Though you can still find them. I'm actually curious to see what approach YBY1 takes. We do pick up the Cassiopeia too, which I do think is something that would certainly make you want to lean a little bit towards perhaps actually playing the reroll version, but we'll see when and how we end up actually making that decision. We pick up tier here, which is also huge for us. That is the blue buff that, we were looking at the stats. Really, really, really good onto Cassiopeia here. So Let me get a drink of water. I think I was attacked by one of my snacks earlier. Gonna make the Warmogs here as well. I mean, your items are actually fantastic here. We can slam all of these here, and the Adaptive Helm can just sit on frontline for now. Probably gonna end up swapping Adaptive Helm to backline and then putting Crown Guard on frontline as just like a 3-item for, you know, frontliner, but we'll see. And you can already see Cassiopeia 2, 7,000 damage. All right, last augment here, another Anomaly, Health is Wealth, Glass Cannon. I hate most of these. I guess you could look at Glass Cannon. Seems perfectly serviceable. And yeah, he is going to pick up Glass Cannon here. Wow, both VODs on Dominators that I've reviewed, it actually is just a hit Mordekaiser on the first roll on 8, which once again, I won't say is not high roll, but hey, we'll see. And also, okay, so this is kind of like a standard Dominators game. We do end up actually, because we find the 2-star Mbessa, just end up actually selling off the Garen and just saying, I mean, I'm never going to play Garen here. I have the Mbessa. Going to get to triple item the Mordekaiser and then put these other items onto Ziggs here. So yeah, I mean, this makes a lot of sense. But yeah, the other piece of it is we're holding on to 5 Cassios. We're certainly open to a Cassiopeia 3 being made, but it's also not a roll on 7. So like I was saying, I'm kind of curious about how YBO1 wants to do this. He wants to push 8 and, you know, hit this board on 8. Obviously, it caps out really, really nicely on 8. You can just fit basically exactly this board. Very often, you'd be playing the Garen over the Mbessa, but I mean, Mbessa 2 is an Mbessa 2. You'll play it, and it's Conquer for the Mordekaiser. But yeah, you can easily play 4 Black Throws, 4 Dominator on level 8 and feel really good about it, and then also be able to fit in something like a Garen. So this is probably just one of those boards where YBO1 is saying, I need to go 8 because the board spikes so hard on 8, being able to get that Emissary in. Also, just those odds of finding stuff like the Mordekaiser, right? Had we rolled on 7, obviously we would never have found that Mordekaiser. We have Chain open here, and I mean, we still have the Shojin component open. We're actually going to take Glove here, which is kind of interesting. We also, I mean, we have Edge of Night, full Edge of Night open if we want to throw it onto the Mordekaiser here. I'm curious, there's another Cassiopeia. Why are we going really aggressively here, actually? And yeah, actually downgrades the Mbessa. But what's also interesting is we sold off Garen there. Whoa. I don't know. I'm not sure what the idea there is, actually. I mean, this makes it look like he thinks that it makes it look like he thinks that Mbessas are straight up better than Garen on this board, which would surprise me. I don't think Garen got nerfed at all this patch, but for some reason, YBO1 is more interested in the Mbessa here. I mean, maybe just saying the Conqueror value for Mordekaiser is too important, but yeah, we'll see. And yes, look at that. The immediate take there on the power absorption, or the energy absorption, sorry, for YBO1. We saw actually the player that we were watching yesterday ended up skipping this, but YBO1 wants it and he immediately takes it. The nice thing about this is, and we'll see if YBO1 wants to do it here, you can start to kind of like frontline some of the quote unquote bad units and, you know, like put Ziggs up here, though, you know, probably not here because Ziggs itemized and because we have mana flow value. But worst case, you know, we're getting, you know, Dominator AP onto this. You know, these units are getting AP from stuff like Sorcerer. Like you're still spreading a lot of AP over to the Cassiopeia here. And also, I mean, our build just does so well with extra AP. We have the JG, we have the Guardbreaker. All we really need is to get casting and get this AP up. And yeah, it's going to be a dub here as well. Are we going to lock for Vlad too? We're just going to... Oh, I think YBO1 wanted to lock there, but he ended up messing up at the last second. We do pick up the LeBlanc here, which just has to come in as well. It was so weird, though, that he really had such a low priority on the Garen. I mean, maybe his idea is that with Mordekaiser, yeah, that Conqueror is really important. And the other piece of it is that we already have the 2-star Elise, so who really needs a really beefy frontline tank? I was going to look at Anvils here, but yeah, he's going to start popping now. So we have Mordekaiser item open here. I do certainly think you would want to pick up a Nashor's Tooth on a Mord. You also want to finish a tank item here. So then what do you take out of this? I mean, Tyr's never bad in this comp. We have a Marshed already. We have Heal Cut already, so we don't need to pick up either one of those. Could just take a gross TG here and throw it onto like something like a Blanc. I don't know. I'm leaning Tyr here, but let's see. He's going to take the Cloak here for... Oh, QSS. Yeah, QSS is nice here. And then... I mean, you still do need a final tank item, right? He's going to take Tyr here. And then, yeah, so it's going to be QSS and then what, like Adaptive, Redemption? So, no third tank item. Okay. I mean, who needs tank items when you have, I mean, I'm pretty surprised about that third item, Ziggs. You know, this is our 9th damage item instead of our 3rd tank item. But YBY says, I mean, who needs a tank item? You know, the Scion's going to do tanking for me. Really deprioritizing the tank items here. We do also pick up the Silco too, who can just come in over the Ziggs here, I would think, unless he... Is there any reason not to pick up this Silco and just play it over Ziggs? I mean, you could if you really hate. Yeah, okay. Yeah, certainly. Oh, but this is kind of cute. He's going to hold on to the Ziggs on bench here. He's going to use the remover and just say, maybe we're going to play 6 Dom down the line. You know, like maybe if we get a Dom +1, that's something that we can play on 9. So very, very just clean play from YBO1, keeping all the options open here. I like it. Yeah. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, Nashor's is too broken of an item to ever pass up on Dominators. So that's kind of the unifying theme for YBO1. And then QSS is a perfectly serviceable attack speed item onto Mordekaiser. I mean, better than serviceable. It's fantastic, right? It's attack speed, and it does, prevent him from getting CC'd. I keep seeing this Quicksilver, this Edge of Night. I feel like we keep seeing these items built onto Mordekaiser here. Also note, like, why you're saying, like, why is Mordekaiser all the way back here? We have this mana flow, right? We want to make sure that, Mordekaiser is getting mana flow, small thing, but yeah, if you're like wondering, you're like, why is he positioning so weirdly? It's for the mana flow, just to make sure that Mordekaiser can get it. Even that one round he threw Ambessa back there and then was like, maybe that's too far. Crown Guard here, another tank, Gargoyle, okay. I mean, I would think. Really? Oh my god. Who does this even, for LeBlanc? He hates it. He hates putting a tank. He says, under no circumstance will I put a 3rd tank item onto this Elise. I mean, this seems crazy to me. Once again, if you just count items-wise, we have 10 damage items here and 2 tank items, and the 3rd tank item for Elise. Okay, I mean, why not? Why not? Why shouldn't we? I mean, maybe his thought is that, like, this Elise is always casting once. If she has Gargoyle here, is she casting twice? I mean, didn't look like it in that fight. So, I mean, that must be his idea, is that, like, what does a 3rd item on Elise do? It's a little bit of extra tankiness, but if she's not going to get a double cast off, which she's probably not, then yeah, I mean, why go for it? And the Scion's tanky enough. Wow, and we can go for a multi-item LeBlanc here. She has Sork in, she is LeBlanc herself. I mean, she's a good unit, so a lot of options. Huh. I mean, if you think it's weird, right? It breaks the rules of TFT, right? The rules of TFT say that you should go for a 3-item damage dealer and you should go for a 3-item tank. But YBO1 says, who cares about that, right? TFT is not about rules. It's about, optimizing things. It's about making these small decisions that, might end up winning him fights that he would otherwise lose. We're also going to pick up 2 items from the crab here, which will be nice. Maybe. I mean, at this point, is it just going to be 2 LeBlanc items? We'll see here. Also, yeah, pre-leveling up to 9 here. Okay, I have to imagine it will be Shojin. I mean, okay, he finally does take Vow here because Vow is too good of an Elise item to pass up here. Pick up a Warwick here who's got to fit in the board. Also rolling down, still keeping those Cassiopeias open here, and then going to move some items over. So still looking for Cassiopeia 3. Would it be clickbait for me to put Cassiopeia in the thumbnail of this video? A little bit, but I mean, it makes for a great thumbnail. How could I not? And as long as he ends the game with a Cassiopeia, I mean, he anomalied his Cassiopeia. He was always, his idea was always, and boom, there it is actually. Okay, as early as 6-2. I mean, there's still 4 people alive, so it's not even like that egregious. I'm putting it in the thumbnail, and if you guys, disagree with me, then leave a like on this video to show your displeasure. I'll just count every like that you leave on this video. I will take that feedback and. Yeah, never mind. I mean, the more I watch these fights, the more I do think YBO1 was correct to not put a 3rd tank item onto Elise until we got to Protector's Vow, right? Protector's Vow, once again, too good of an item to pass up on this Elise. It's perfect on these caster type tanks who their only job is to get a cast off. So I think this makes perfect sense. Also note that we're trapping the Warwick in the corner there just to make sure that he lives long enough to get these executes off. He's not very tanky, especially even they nerfed his healing a little bit this patch. So, I mean, he's really, like, look at that. He flies into the front line, gets a little execute off, and then boom, is immediately dead. But he's done all that he needs there. We pick up the dove there, and it's just us and Lechuyen here. Ooh. I mean, there is another Nashor's, though we do have an open component on LeBlanc, right? He's just gonna take the TG for the Warwick, though. Yeah, that's pretty gross here. This also might get the Warwick actually casting, which is really, really nice here. So yeah, who cares about 3rd item LeBlanc? I mean, a Warwick 2 or a Warwick 1 is gonna be better than a LeBlanc 1. Once you get to LeBlanc 2, it's better, but yeah. Also, I should probably open up the damage chart here to see 8.6k out of Cassio last fight. Let's see this fight. I mean, honestly, I think the board we fought last round maybe just didn't have that much HP. I mean, these fights just go too quickly for Cassio. I mean, but still 10k damage and an easy dub for YBO1. Let me pull it back here so we can look at the board at the last second just to finish it off. And then he ended up with the TG onto Warwick. A really cool game for YBO1. Obviously a bit high roll on some of this stuff, but I loved how he played around Cassiopeia 3. And I mean, his it looks like his read is that you should really, really like be open to Cassiopeia 3. You should push 8, but stay open to the possibility of hitting Cassiopeia on 8 or even on 9, because this unit is just an absolute beast after the buffs. So yeah, something to keep your eyes open for. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, check out my Metafy, my Twitch, all my other links down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Check op.gg, links down below. Check them out. They're a great sponsor, and I feel bad because I haven't been streaming as much lately, so I want to, still give them, yeah. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.